Hare Krishna. We're going to soon celebrate the 150th anniversary of the appearance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur Prabhupada. You may wonder who he is. Just another Acharya? No. You may know Srila Prabhupada, the founder of the Hare Krishna movement, or the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He is famous for bringing the Vedic knowledge, the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, to the Western world. We can see from the 1970s, people who are not coming from a Hindu background, knowing about the Vedas and practicing it. Things like vegetarianism, yoga, is a common thing now. It is not a burden or a fallacy anymore, or some weird thing from the East. No, it's part of everyday life around the world. So how did this come to place? Well, the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in the 1920s, he met His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami when he was a young man. He was known as Abhaicharan. And Abhaicharan, he was a bit skeptical about meeting different sadhus. He didn't have faith in it. He was a follower of Gandhi. He wanted independence for India. But spiritual life was not in the forefront. But his friend had invited him, please meet this sadhu. He is amazing. So they went to meet him, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And as custom, they paid obeisances to the sadhu. And upon coming up, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told Abhaicharan, you are a very intelligent young man. Why don't you speak this philosophy of Krishna consciousness to the Western world? Spread it all over. And upon that meeting, Srila Prabhupada took Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur as his spiritual master within his heart, and that instruction as his life and soul. At the age of 70, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, formerly Abhaicharan, left India on a cargo ship, having 2 heart attacks along the way, landing in New York City, not knowing whether to go left or right. But he had faith in his spiritual master, that he's been empowering him. Within a short amount of time of 11 years, he established 108 temples and has 5,000 followers. And Hare Krishna became a household word. This is all because of the instruction of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the son of another great Vaishnava Acharya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had the vision that this philosophy is universal of Krishna consciousness, that we are not this body but a spirit soul, and that spirit soul is an eternal part and parcel of the Supreme Soul, or God, or Krishna. And that everyone's goal in life, every single living entity, is to be happy in connecting with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is called Bhakti Yoga, or Krishna consciousness. He even sent a book of these teachings to a library in Canada. But he needed help. So he prayed to the Lord for a ray of Vishnu, and appeared out of his 13 children, one, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. When he was born, he was known as Vilma Prasad. He was a very extraordinary personality at a young age. When he was born with the umbilical cord wrapped around his body just like a Brahman thread. And he was situated in the holy place of Jagannath Puri. In Jagannath Puri, they have the biggest festival in all of India. Millions of people come, which is called Jagannath Rath Yatra. The Lord comes out of the temple onto chariots, and millions of people are calling out the Lord's name, a grand celebration, down what's called the Grand Road. But sometimes the chariots stop But this time, the chariot stopped right in front of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's place. And it didn't move. So then, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur brought his new son onto the chariot in front of the Lord Jagannath. And an amazing thing happened. The garland from Lord Jagannath fell and was wrapped around the small child, Bhima Prasad. So we knew, everyone knew, that this personality will do great things and uplift the whole world in spirituality. He was a great mind, so intelligent. In his childhood years, he memorized the English dictionary. And then he was very proficient as he became older in astrology. You may think astrology is a nice thing to study. You know about people's characters and what will happen next in the future. But it's a very mathematical thing, is astrology. He was offered, he wrote a wonderful book called Srila Siddhanta, which was an amazing composition of the study of astrology. And he was offered a position as a professor in a university. But he knew the mission of his father is to elevate everyone in spiritual consciousness, in Krishna consciousness. So he rejected this position and continued on the mission of spreading Krishna consciousness. He took initiation from a great Vaishnavacharya, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. And he instructed him to always reside in Vrindavan, in the spiritual world. He did that by spreading this movement. In India, he started what was called the Gaudiya Math. The Gaudiya Math is the cornerstone or the main thing that has established the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Lord Chaitanya is none other than Krishna appearing in the skies as a devotee, spreading the Yuga Dharma, the activity to self-realization, which is the chanting of the holy names of God. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He spread it all over India, but the materialistic religious people called Smarta Brahmanas did not like him reaching out to the low-class people. India has a problem of the caste system, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta allowed spirituality for the low caste by giving what was called Harinam initiation, giving them a connection to the disciplic succession to God through the chanting of the holy name. And they became purified by that chanting. God is not different from his name. So when one chants, one becomes purified. And they can become just as qualified brahmana. Samadhamastaba socham, shanti ajamam evacha, jnana vijnanamastikam, brahmakam samadhina. These qualities of self-control, of cleanliness, of religiousness, of honesty, of realization and knowledge, the work of the brahmanas can be achieved by any person. Doesn't matter what is their background. He understood this. He even sent disciples to London where they met the Queen. They even were going to meet high personalities all over Europe, but came back unsuccessful. But only when he instructed his disciple, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. At that time, he was known as Abhay Charan. He instructed him, whenever you get money, print books and preach this Krishna consciousness in the English-speaking world. This proved to be the main thing that changed the world. These books of Srila Prabhupada, through the empowerment of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, he called the book distribution Brihat Mridanga. A mridanga is a drum that's used in kirtan, in the chanting of the holy name. The mridanga can only be heard for 2 blocks or so in the street. But the Brihat Mridanga, the book, the glorification of the Lord through Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, that can be heard from one side of the planet to the other. It can be heard through generations. It can be heard from any position that one is in, even if one does not meet a devotee. This is the empowerment of those books, of Srila Prabhupada, And this is how spirituality is growing more and more in this world of Kali Yuga. Even though things are getting worse, there's more quarrel and hypocrisy than ever before. But simultaneously, the Yuga Dharma, the glorification of the Lord, of His holy name, is growing more and more due to the contribution of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, the spiritual master of His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This is how the world will be changed. And a golden age will now appear. And everyone will give up the envy for each other and start caring for each other by engaging in this Bhakti Yoga process, loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.